I won't date someone who has been in a threesome. Self-explanatory. I had an ex who had a threesome before we met and was never able to look at them the same way after I found out. It wasn't just because they had lied when I had asked initially, but it's also the fact that I made it clear I wouldn't date anyone who did this. The thought of not one, but two people, having their way with someone, man or woman, turns my stomach. To be clear, I'm hardly slut-shaming anyone and am very sex-positive in general. Just because I'm not comfortable being with someone who did this, doesn't mean I'm making a statement about what consenting adults do in the privacy of their own homes. Go nuts. Just respect my right to not want to be with you. Redditors refusing to date someone is the absolute least threatening threat in existence. I won't date anyone who has fondled the blowhole of a gray whale. I totally get this, buddy. You're not alone. I could never date someone from Luxembourg. It's just a ridiculous country. Phew. Thank goodness Appa's still okay to date me. There were 6 of us in the bed, which is definitely not a threesome. I won't date anyone who has ever pooped in a McDonald's. I know it was before we dated, and I don't judge anyone for needing to defecate in a McDonald's, but after my ex told me she had taken a dump in one, I just could never look at her the same. I mean, you can say you don't want to date someone because they have weird nipple hair and it shouldn't matter. You have a right to choose who you want to be with. And if that excludes people who have been in threesomes, then so be it. Person shrugging. That being said, it's totally reasonable for someone else to not pick you because you have an innie belly button or something. You get my point. So let's say they has sexy time once and it was a threesome versus they had sex with 1000 ppl but solo and missionary. You're saying the threesome misses out. To be clear, this is well within your right of consent and should never be challenged. However, this is not a sex-positive opinion and does broach on slut-shaming. Sounds like you really just have a problem with threesomes. You say you're not making a statement on them, but that's %100 what you did by saying, 2 people having their way with someone etc. I'm pretty sure this is how Ross sounded after the threesome. You are the opposite of sex-positive Nancy. Okay, so I'm not judging, but I do wish to know more. Is your problem with threesomes that you think 2 people are having their way with a third? Because 1. The phrase, having their way, makes it sound like you're more against rape than anything, which is probably a healthy thing to be against, and 2. Really any threesome that's consensual is supposed to be more than just 2 people fucking a third. Any good threesome is really supposed to be equally enjoyable for everyone involved and is a lot more than what you're describing. Now look, I understand this isn't change my view, but I am concerned that you might be sorely limiting yourself and keeping yourself from some amazing people, all because you maybe don't have a full picture of how threesomes work. If you are open to changing your view, I would maybe do some research regarding how they actually work and why they happen. Don't look at porn though, because that actually is usually just 2 people fucking a third and that's not realistic. That's not what sex positive means, lol. You're free to have preferences, but don't make it seem like people who partake in stuff like that are disgusting. Just because you say you aren't slut-shaming doesn't mean you aren't slut-shaming.